afternoon, everyone. My research is named Metamaterial as an application in cloaking architecture. My name is Mohamed Elnawawy, assistant teacher and faculty of engineering at Metamaterial University, and my brother and partner in our research, wael Mohamed Zaki, assistant teacher also in faculty of engineering at Metamaterial University. First of all, Metamaterial, the outline of the research, introduction, the art of cloaking, as we see, Metamaterial, cloaking in architecture case studies, conclusions and recommendations. First of all, the optical light theory and scene concept, as we see the two figures talking about the left figure, the law of reflection with angle of reflection R being equal to the angle of incidence I, and the other right figure is the refraction, and this is the angle of refraction between the light when they enter the two sides not equal the index of refraction. This is the first theory of optical light. The research importance and objectives highlight for the new technique of metamaterial and its uses in architecture spaces and masses. And development of this technique along 30 years is to prove that we can cloak any shape that we can use in real time. Research methodology study all phases of cloaking using metamaterial at in or outdoor architecture spaces and masses. This is Professor and Sir John Bentry, the Master of Cloaking Art, Professor of Theoretical Physics at Imperial College, London, 1945, whose groundbreaking theoretical work inspired the construction of the first invisibility cloaks and super lenses. The art of cloaking, there are 5 techniques along the 30 years about cloaking architecture. The first, mirror systems, assemble 2 dimensionals as we see cloaking system, the object between the 4 mirrors. When the light hit the first mirror, it will reflect the second, third, and fourth, and the object in between the 4 mirrors being hidden. This is old technique. This is another old technique, but the start of cloaking coatings. This is image from Tachi Labs, the University of Tokyo. This is concept in the figure, right figure, shows the projector and the observer seeing the illusion of projector hidden this object and seeing 50% image behind the person. This is retroflexion projection technology, RTS, more advanced. This is lens are concaved, and the green things between these 2 lenses will be hidden because the light when they hit the lens, it will concaved, and the central point it will be 0, so it can be hidden. And this old technique, a crystal invisible cloak system. This is a region of red cord that disappears from the view when it passes underneath 2 calculus prisms. These 5 techniques and how it works, this video will show how it works in few seconds. This person show us how it can be real to hide this is not magic, this is real, this is physics, theoretical, works for 30 years, and nowadays from 2000s, all scientists and professors work through it, so we can show another video. Now metamaterial at 20th generation. Metamaterial's new technique will be shown that in video in few seconds. Metamaterial. So بس مش شغال خالص. Okay, The sound in the video called that the metamaterial is a new material in metaphysics, that when we can go through the light to hit the masses, it can bend the light. This material bending the light through the masses and go through behind the surrounding environment, so we can see the behind masses, the behind spaces, the behind the architectural building, and see the in front of invisible and seeing that behind the masses. Okay, bending the light. The first mention of metamaterial, the very first metamaterial invisibility cloak device was manufacturing in the Duke University lab of David Smith, announced in the October 1926 issues of Science Express. This very, the first photo from David Smith at the left and David Prescription at the right of the Duke University. This is a partner of the first cloaking material really used in all countries, but to be secret ingredients, to be secret contents to using in physics. Definition and concept: metamaterials. The word of metamaterials comes from the Greek word meta, which means to co-bend. Metamaterials are artificial structured materials used to control and manipulate light, sound, and many other physical phenomena. The properties of metamaterial are derived both from the inherent properties of their constituent materials. As we see in this figure, this is a massing coating by metamaterial. The light, when its light hits the metamaterial, it can bend. The index of refraction will be 0, and the light goes through around the masses and seeing behind the masses, as it is very transparency, very magic, but it is real. Know that electromagnetism spectrum lithograph, the metamaterial used the UV light to be scattered and seeing the UV light not to see as the human eyes, but it is a spectrum, the UV light into electromagnetism to be hidden. As we see the classification of metamaterial, any material in our natural being in 4 categories: ENG materials, DPS materials, MNG materials, and the last DNG materials. This is the classification of metamaterials. Index of refraction and index of refraction less than 0, so it is not found in nature. This video is very important. This professor from Michigan University doing this experiment in 2016. This is updated and contact with him, but the secret of the contains not to be announced. We will see this really live experiment in Michigan University. Sorry. As we see, preparation the specimen and being a differentiation the material, be secret, and go through. It is spritzing or vaporizing the material above small specimen masses. All masses, its edges is very smooth, and being a hair dryer to be electromagnetism. So as we can see, it is being invisible, and his hands be invisible. As we see, this is very real lifetime experiment. As we see, so we are architects as we use metamaterial in application. So my brother and partner wael Zaki will introduce metamaterial application in architecture fields and engineering.
Hello everyone. I will talk the metamaterial application in architecture field. What's the added value of metamaterial in architecture? We divide it into two title or main title, permanent and temporary in interior and exterior, in outdoor and exterior. The first example, the Mamlaka Tower is a very complex tower and landmark and iconic building in the Riyadh city. The architect tried to be an iconic building with complex and high cost structure system with fair form. This part is the fair. In the middle figure, with the against lost part of the building, we use simple structure system, but we lose the iconic and form. In the last figure, by using the Metamaterial to hide these parts, we achieved the iconic building and we achieved the loss of area in this. The second example is a CCTV headquarters iconic building in China. This building is used very complicated structure system to be achieved the iconic building or form. If we build this part, with Metamaterial can be hide these parts, we achieved the iconic building and we achieved a new tower. والحقيقه اللي احنا بنقصد هنا ان انا مش محتاج كمعماري اللي انا اعمل تشكيل معقد جدا او تشكيل علشان اثبت فيه او علشان اقدر احقق فيه ان في تكون كتله مميزه جدا. تمام. دلوقتي باستخدام الميتاماتيريال انا ممكن اقدر اعمل كده، ممكن اقدر اعمل كتله تقليديه عاديه جدا واللي انا اقدر اخفي اجزاء فيها او اظهرها. تمام. ده بيديها ان هي تكون ايكونيك بيلدينج. The invisible tower, the first invisible tower is now under construction in South Korea. It's dependent on the cameras to simulate the surrounding environment with LED screen. He used the large LED screen behind the tower and technique the projection and cameras in 3 level, and the screen is overlapping the image to be invisible. We propose the old version is the projection. We propose to the surrounding light around this with coating or shutter material of all windows of the building. In this sketch, we discuss the window. When all shutter window is closed, the building is invisible. When shutter is open, the building تقليدي طبيعي. In the other example, in this example, the architect tried to hide this at the middle of the building with a different material and with different form. With matte material in this figure, we can hide exactly the middle of the building. In this example, the main concept is to be fly the building with the long span cantilever. It's a good idea, but it's a big problem in the structure system. The building is not safe. We need to put the column from the building. Because we propose Metamaterial can be hide this column, we shift the concept of architecture. And which tower, the building or type of building can be used to be invisible in all time.
Okay, the last example is an interior application. The coating inner space is Metamaterial. As we see, the workspace in front of this, and Metamaterial putting the partitions inside to be looking when anyone go through the corridor, when it close the door and go the shutter of the metamaterial, we can see the outdoor directly and the indirect light and the light seen. This as a section conclude this theory, and the inner and outer in the corridor, the light hit the corridor and the inner space will disappear. Last day, we go through these hotels and seeing the corridor is very darkness, and we propose
2 minutes.
Okay, and we propose that if we can these panels in the corridor in our hotel be metamaterial, then we can see the outer shading of the hotel and go through the light. This is natural light, and the other side of the corridor is very darkness. When we can put metamaterial in the window, we can see the sea, so we can go through that corridor without glasses. But when the shutter is on, we can see all environment is very clear. Shutter off is very closed. Last conclusion, metamaterial steel composite secret material, which can bend the light through the mass to be invisible technique along. There are many applications of metamaterial as secret, such as security, national defense, iconic building, communication, education, conference rooms, and ecology. By metamaterial, we can redesign the constructed building by hiring parts of it to develop or solve the problem in the urban community. Last, recommendation, increase the awareness of splites in the architectural field, the potential of metamaterial application architecture, and the future research would focus on manufacturing technique of metamaterial technology, the economic value of using it, future applications of metamaterial in all splites, and their integrated with cloaking architecture. This is reference, read reference. Thank you for your attention.
Any questions?
Okay, yes sir.
Thank you for the very interesting presentation. I just need to know, is it really possible to do what you proposed at the end of having the corridors of the hotel, seeing what is outside, while there is the whole life in between that we cannot see?
Yes.
Is the material available?
Available for
Is it under special conditions?
Special conditions for suits of army and the defense of building, but the last interior example, it is real from a project and the reference put the company of the interior partitions doing the metamaterial, but the ingredients is still a secret. Doing in the factory and buying in the outside of anyone, can be in any bank, security, anything of architecture interior. This is a real project from contact with the right company. Okay, thank you. Any other question? Okay.
Are you studying the durability of this material? Are you studying the durability of this material?
The durability of this material we do with my partner, wael. This is not on internet or any other place. This is our methodology and our applications. We see the physics phenomena of metamaterial and the role of nanotechnology in doing this, but we can research to see the ingredients of this, but these applications from our vision. But the last interior furniture or interior workspace, this is a real applications in South America, South Korea. Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions?